Max Verstappen didn't just win in Austin, he redefined domination. From pole to flag, every lap was his signature written in speed. While others talked about comebacks in form, Verstappen simply executed perfection. And when he spoke after the race, his words reminded everyone that greatness isn't noise, it's control. From the moment the lights went out in Austin, it was obvious that Max Verstappen wasn't just racing, he was managing a system. Every lap of the United States Grand Prix felt less like a fight and more like an experiment in control. While others attacked the first few corners in desperation, Verstappen's start was pure precision, perfect launch, minimal wheel spin, clean line through turn 1. He didn't need to defend, his focus was already 50 meters ahead. He was thinking about tire temperatures, brake pressures, and air density, the hidden variables that make or break a race. Within 5 laps, he had already built a cushion of more than 2 seconds, not by pushing harder, but by wasting less. That's Verstappen's brilliance. He doesn't fight the car, he synchronizes with it. His first stint on the medium tires was a lesson in mechanical empathy. The track temperature was brutal, hovering above 50 degrees Celsius, yet his degradation curve looked like it belonged to a different planet. Red Bull's engineers had predicted heavy rear wear by lap 20, but Verstappen extended that window comfortably to lap 26. How? Subtlety. He changed his steering angles mid-corner to reduce slip, lifted earlier in the braking zones, and managed acceleration like a craftsman, never overstressing the compound, never chasing unnecessary lap time. On the surface, it looked easy. In reality, it was precision at its highest level. Gianpiero Lambiase, his race engineer, summed it up best: he's managing better than the model. When the human is outperforming the simulation, you know something extraordinary is happening. His communication with the pit wall was another masterclass. Red Bull had designed a two-stop strategy, but Verstappen questioned it mid-race, sensing that track conditions and tire life would allow something more flexible. "Let's extend," he said on lap 23, and the data agreed moments later. That's what makes him different. He feels what the sensors detect seconds before they do. He requested a minor front wing adjustment at the stop, no theatrics, no indecision. The pit crew executed it in 2.2 seconds. He rejoined ahead of Norris, gap intact, rhythm unchanged. It wasn't raw aggression keeping him ahead, it was decision-making. That invisible calculation, knowing exactly when to push, when to pause, is the real weapon in Verstappen's arsenal. The second stint, on the hard tires, was surgical. With lower grip and heavier traffic, many expected Verstappen's pace to plateau. Instead, he got faster. Lap after lap, his consistency bordered on mechanical. Every braking zone was a carbon copy of the previous one, every apex kiss perfect. He managed to extract optimal energy recovery from the hybrid system while avoiding overheating, something even Red Bull's own data engineers later described as inhumanly consistent. When asked about it afterward, Verstappen's explanation was typically simple: "I just kept it tidy." Tidy. That's his word for the kind of performance most drivers dream of producing once in a career. Then came the phase that separates champions from mortals: pressure management. As the race entered its final 10 laps, a vibration developed in the rear left. The telemetry lit up in Red Bull's garage, and Lambiase's voice tightened: "We're seeing something unusual. Keep an eye on it." Verstappen didn't flinch. "Copy," he replied, and adjusted instantly. He shortened his braking distance by half a meter, softened his throttle on exit, and neutralized the issue without losing significant time. Behind him, Norris closed the gap slightly, but Verstappen's calm never broke. It's what defines him: while others react, he recalibrates. He doesn't fight the problem, he folds it into the plan. The weekend began with tension. Red Bull had been under fire, critics saying the car was losing its magic, rivals whispering that McLaren had taken the upper hand. Verstappen arrived in Austin without the swagger of dominance, but with something far more dangerous: determination. The RB21 had struggled in recent rounds, unpredictable over bumps and prone to oversteer when pushed too hard. But from the first lap on Friday, you could feel it: the rhythm was back. Verstappen's driving wasn't flamboyant or desperate, it was mechanical poetry. The small steering corrections through the S's, the perfectly timed throttle application through turn 11, it was like watching a craftsman fine-tuning a masterpiece, millimeter by millimeter. The sprint weekend added complexity. Limited practice, limited time, and maximum pressure. Yet Verstappen thrives on exactly that. He doesn't need time to adapt, he deciphers conditions faster than the data itself. In sprint qualifying, he read the wind shifts, felt the track evolution, and delivered a lap that silenced the paddock pole by 3/10, in a car that only hours earlier looked average. Then came the sprint race. The first lap was chaos, cars touching, debris flying, and through it all, Verstappen emerged untouched, composed, already 3 seconds clear by lap 5. It was a reminder that racing intelligence isn't learned, it's innate. Sunday, however, was the real test. The full Grand Prix distance under relentless Texas heat, with tire degradation threatening to turn the race into survival. Verstappen's preparation was pure science. He started on the medium compound, a risky choice for grip at the start, but one that opened strategic freedom later on. The first 10 laps were all about patience, keeping temperatures under control, understanding how the track evolved, listening to the car rather than fighting it. Behind him, Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc battled each other into early tire wear. Verstappen, meanwhile, remained untouched, his RB21 dancing lightly through each corner, every motion precise, deliberate, and efficient. By lap 15, the pattern was unmistakable. The Dutchman wasn't driving the race, he was dictating it. His pace wasn't explosive, it was methodical. Every lap slightly faster than the one before, each sector more refined. It was the same quiet, crushing authority that once defined Schumacher, Prost, and Senna, the ability to make victory look inevitable long before the flag falls. Even the team radio was telling. "Tires are good," he said. "Car feels great." 10 words. No drama. Just calm execution from a driver who knows exactly what he's doing. Red Bull arrived in Austin carrying the weight of questions they weren't used to hearing. The whispers were growing louder. Had they lost their edge? Had the field caught up? The RB21, once a weapon of ruthless consistency, had become unpredictable. Its balance was fragile, its setup window narrow, and its dominance had been replaced by doubt. Max Verstappen knew it. He didn't need to read headlines, he could feel it in the steering wheel, in the way the car twitched under braking, in how the tires fell away too soon. Yet what separates champions from contenders is how they respond when the car no longer obeys. Verstappen's answer was simple: control the uncontrollable. From the very first practice session, he treated the weekend as a test of problem solving rather than raw speed. The RB21 struggled over the Texas bumps, its rear axle nervous in high-speed transitions through the famous Coda S's. While others demanded setup changes, Verstappen demanded information. He studied telemetry, wind patterns, and surface temperatures. His engineer Gianpiero Lambiase called it pure diagnosis mode. Verstappen wasn't searching for grip, he was searching for rhythm. Because once he finds rhythm, everything else follows. "The car feels alive again," he said quietly after FP2. It wasn't perfect, but it was enough to build something from. Ferrari and McLaren arrived with updates, but Verstappen had something they didn't: total mechanical understanding. He doesn't just drive the car, he decodes it. By sprint qualifying, his analysis had paid off. Red Bull's engineers followed his suggestion to shift aero balance rearward and alter the torque mapping through mid-speed corners. The result was immediate: the RB21 stopped skating, started biting, and Verstappen began smiling. "Much better," he radioed in after his first push lap. That phrase, calm and clipped, signaled something the entire paddock feared: Max Verstappen was back in sync with his machine. The sprint race confirmed it. Under searing afternoon heat, others fought for grip, but Verstappen's car looked effortless. The secret wasn't in Red Bull's floor or diffuser, it was in his hands. He used the steering wheel like a precision instrument, blending inputs, keeping the tires alive, keeping the car balanced in places where physics said it shouldn't be. When his engineer warned him about rear overheating, Verstappen didn't panic. "I know," he replied. "I'm on it." And seconds later, his lap time stabilized. It's that capacity for self-correction, for adjusting faster than any data model, that turns him from a great driver into an unstoppable one. By Saturday night, Red Bull's engineers admitted something quietly among themselves: they were following Verstappen's intuition more than their simulations. He'd identified where the airflow detached in the rear, where the temperature curve began to break down, and even which gear he should use to minimize wheel spin on corner exit. His feedback wasn't abstract, it was mechanical poetry. "In turn 11, I feel the rear rotating late," he said. That single sentence told them more than 100 data points. It allowed the team to tweak the suspension stiffness by less than half a millimeter, a change that transformed the car for Sunday.